WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. Well, happening this past Friday morning was the first oral arguments, and this involves environmental groups and involves elected politicians. They're in front of a judge in Burlington County hoping to intervene on this decision between ExxonMobil and the Christie administration. It started as $8.9 billion, which was settled for $225 million in the cleanup costs. And a bunch of environmental groups were there. Senator Ray Lesniak was there, and we'll see what the next step in this entire process is. Joining me now on the Raritan Bay Medical Center Jersey Newsmaker Hotline is the New Jersey Campaign Director of Clean Water Action, and he was in the courthouse on Friday. He is David Pringle, and he joins me this morning on WCTC. David, hi, it's Bert Barron. How are you?
All right, Bert. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks for making yourself available this morning. So Friday was the first step, and I don't know if this is going to be a long process or this judge is going to be making a decision rather quickly, but you, along with a bunch of other environmentalists and some elected officials as well, kind of got your day in court before a judge. Can you talk about how it went on Friday?
Sure. We have a really strong case, and on Friday we presented it that Governor Christie has abandoned his responsibility to protect the public trust, so we should be made party to the case. This is a suit that started over 10 years ago where the McGreevey administration took Exxon to court to settle this. And the state, up until very recently, had done an admirable job fighting the fight. The assessment was that there was $8.9 billion of damages that Exxon had caused over 100 years at their two refineries in Linden and Bayonne. And we 2 months ago, unfortunately, the Governor Christie had a change of heart, and he decided to settle for less than 3 cents on the dollar, $225 million. So he is representing the public trust when he's doing these kinds of cases, and given the evidence to date, we think he has abrogated that trust, and so we have petitioned the court to intervene, to essentially be a third party, since the first two parties are basically the same party now, Exxon and Christie. So we made that argument on Friday. The judge will be rendering a decision whether or not to allow us to join the case. He was hoping to make the decision today, if not today, tomorrow, and we'll find out. And one way or another, we'll continue fighting, but we'll have a much better chance, and the public will be much better represented if the judge lets us into the case, and we think we deserve it.
Now, the judge in the case in Mount Holly is Judge Michael Hogan. Just based upon what you saw from him, did he seem pretty intrigued by the case that you and your other environmentalists had proposed? Does it seem like he's leaning kind of towards giving you guys and giving you a chance to have a say in all this? Or what did you kind of take away from it?
I was impressed. It was he was very engaged. It was 2 hours of oral argument. It was Exxon, the Christie administration, our 7 environmental groups, and Senator Ray Lesniak, who represents the area and actually authored the original law that this case is based on, has also asked to intervene. So there's a lot of back and forth. The judge was very engaged, asking, challenging questions of all parties. It's clear that he was doing some devil's advocate questioning, but unclear how much of it. He was a devil's advocate for everybody. So he appropriately, whatever opinions he's had or is which way he's leaning, he's kept it close to the vest, as he should. But we're very confident this case. The evidence is compelling that. This is the largest settlement and the worst contamination case in the history of New Jersey. So it's a big one, and the public needs to be represented. And while the state is supposed to be representing the public, we think it's very clear they aren't here. There have been over 70,000 comments submitted to DEP on this, and it's running like over 99% against the settlement. So when you have 70,000 New Jerseyans weighing in, 99% of them one way, and the governor going another way, I think it's pretty clear that he's no longer representing the public. And the public needs to have a seat at the table. And if we're not permitted to intervene, the public will not have that seat.
Yeah, sure. You have to represent the people, of course. And you got some pretty strong allies as well. Delaware Riverkeeper Network, Environment New Jersey. And the Sierra Club, Jeff Tittle of the Sierra Club, is always involved in things environmentally that are happening around the state. So you're in some good company. And Ray Lesniak, he and I've disagreed on a couple of things that he's done over the years, David. But for this one here, I am firmly in his corner, and I support him completely in working with you guys and giving you the chance to intervene in this case.
Right.
So,
Uh,
does having Senator Lesniak as an ally really kind of help you kind of get your case out there?
It does. He's done a lot of independent research and work, and has raised a bunch of good issues. Among other things, he was the one that exposed that if um, Exxon doesn't, in this proposed settlement, Exxon doesn't accept any liability, and as long as they don't admit that they're guilty, then whatever check they end up cutting, he gets to be a tax write-off. So there's a lot of problems here. One of the big things in this case is the $8.9 billion. That's just for the two sites that they had a 69-day trial on.
Wow.
But the settlement is for not just those two sites, but 16 additional Exxon industrial sites, as well as every single Exxon and Mobil gas station, whether that ever had their shingle hang outside of it, which is roughly 1,700 gas stations. This settlement lets them off the hook for all of those sites, even though there's no evidence before the court on all of those sites except for Bayonne and Linden. So if this settlement goes through, the judge and the public won't know what Exxon got away with and what Christie let them get away with.
Interesting. So you're expecting perhaps as early as today or tomorrow to hear back from the judge and see what the next step is?
Yeah, after the hearing on Friday, he said he hoped to have a decision today, and hopefully, or certainly tomorrow. And he did. He shepherded a 69-day trial, and this isn't whether Exxon. This case isn't about whether Exxon is guilty.
Right.
This is the penalty phase of the case.
Yeah.
The Exxon has already been found guilty, so the only question here is how much they're going to pay. And it's the state's assessment that there was $8.9 billion worth of damages done here. And much as we think, we deserve the full amount, we never expect to get the full amount when you're in court and all that. But there's a lot of wiggle room between 225 billion and 8.9 billion, and when you throw in these additional sites, we think that $8.9 billion figure goes much higher than that. Another important point in this case is that the way it's structured, the state pays their own attorney's fees, which would be about $45 million in this case.
Oh, boy.
And the state, the governor insisted on budget language that he's allowed to take anything over $50 million and have it go to the state's general fund, not go to restore those natural resources. And the lawyer fees come out of the $50 million as well. So if this settlement goes through, as little as $5 million will go to cover a $10 billion claim.
Wow. Okay. Well, please, David Pringle, keep us posted and let us know how things are progressing here. And I'm pulling for you guys and for Senator Lesniak. I really am, because this is just one of the many unpopular decisions that Governor Christie has been connected to. So hopefully this will work out and we'll get our money. If ExxonMobil said we'll give you half, I think everybody would have been satisfied with that. But like you said, less than 3 cents on the dollar it's a joke. It's an insult to the people of New Jersey.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for your interest, Bert, and
you bet.
Getting folks in Middlesex County knowing what's going on. It's important because a lot of the sites, even though neither Linden nor Bayonne are there, several of obviously the gas stations and some of the industrial sites are in Middlesex, including Edison.
Yeah, this affects all of New Jersey, David. So thanks for your
Absolutely.
time this morning. Keep us posted, all right?
All right, take care.
All right, you too. David Pringle, the New Jersey Campaign Director for Clean Water Action.